A fresh debate is raging over the issue of religion being taught in Australian schools. It's been revealed that a Victorian education department's making schools host Christian teaching, whether they like it or not. Other religions are claiming there's a Christian bias in the system. A Christian education provider is the only one to receive major state funding, and only Christian religious instruction is given to students as a default if their parents forget to opt out of religious instruction altogether. So, Scott, what's brought this debate on in Victoria?
The thing that brought it to the head was earlier this month, the Victorian Minister for Education announced a further grant of $220,000 to be given to ACCESS Ministries, which is the equivalent of Scripture Union in Victoria. They are the group that train, that gather, that then funnel a system of volunteers from various local churches and denominations into local schools. They are the providers of what used to be called scripture teachers or special religious instruction. Look, this is an issue that's been simmering for quite some time. It's certainly been on the boil here in New South Wales because of the debate, although here, between ethics classes and religion classes.
And that option isn't available in Victoria.
From what I understand, that option is not available.
They have to pick a religion or nothing.
That's exactly right. Either you opt in, or you sit at the back of the class, or you go and watch videos, or in some cases, it's been reported, you sit outside the principal's office. Now, I think the drum that's really being beaten here is that in terms of its legislation, Victoria actually has quite a remarkable framing of the legislation, which guarantees secular, compulsory, and free schooling. So there are all sorts of groups that are saying, look, this is an anomalous situation. It's giving a red carpet to various churches and untrained, unskilled volunteers to come in and basically proselytize among school children.
That seems a bit dangerous and ad hoc to me. I mean, why can't we just we're talking about a national curriculum, is it beyond us to get some kind of national, religious / spiritual / ethical course?
To that with John Roskam very shortly, but can I ask, are other religions effectively shut out by this, or is it just expensive and difficult for them? What's the problem?
Look, from what I understand, I don't know the Victorian situation as well as I know the Queensland and the New South Wales situation. From what I understand, it's not so much that other groups are shut out. There is provision for general religious education, but the difficulty is for other religions, what it has always been for Christian churches as well, getting volunteers, getting people to actually go in and do it. And see, that's been precisely one of the complaints. You've got untrained, unskilled, if I can also put it this way, untheologically trained volunteers from various churches. They may be the most enthusiastic or the most passionate being brought in. Now the issue here, though, the issue is that as soon as you begin throwing government funding at something like this, it creates, if you like, a disaster that's waiting to happen. Yes. There's an article on the Religion Ethics website at the moment.
Inequality is simply waiting to emerge.
Well, it's not just inequality. Scott Hedges has written something for the Religion Ethics website where he says, isn't this a kind of religious education equivalent of the pink bats? As soon as you throw money at something, as soon as you say these are positions that then need to be filled, and once that's not regulated the way that it ought to be, or when you leave it to a group like, I'm not trying to cast aspersions on ACCESS and ACCESS
but it draws out all sorts of enthusiastic
and it also it brings out inequalities. And look, to be perfectly honest, I think for churches to be claiming a certain right in this area, to say that this is a privileged position that they deserve, I think that's indefensible, to be perfectly frank.
John Roskam, Fran raised the issue of the national curriculum, and in fact you've let your thoughts be known to the Minister in some notes recently, and you say that it's gone too far the other way, that there's an anti-Christian bias in the proposed national curriculum. At one point you say, our ideas about human rights are grounded in Christian theology. That's a good argument starter for a start, but why do you say that the national curriculum has swung too far against Christianity?
Because it has. If you read the curriculum, you see that nearly all of the references to Christianity are negative, are hostile. They don't take account of the huge role of Christianity in the development of the modern world. And the way the national curriculum treats Christianity is different, for example, from the way it treats Islam. So 2/3 of Australians regard themselves as Christian. Certainly the Christian churches do have a privileged position going into classrooms and teaching students, but parents can opt out if they don't like it, and I certainly think there should be alternatives in education classes. But this is not about Christianity. This is about the sweeping secularisation of the education system and of Australia. We should give parents the choice, and I have no problems at all governments privileging Christian churches in the way they're doing.
I don't have a problem. I don't think it's about Christianity either. I mean, it is, largely, I think John's right, our human rights system is largely based on Christian principles. That's where it's emerged from. But I just don't think anything should be as ad hoc as that, as we're searching around for volunteer, untrained proselytisers and letting them loose on the classrooms. That seems to me dangerous.
Mind you, I must say that $220,000 that was given to ACCESS Ministries, well, it wasn't, but it's precisely for the training and the supervision of volunteers. So it wasn't
money. Finally tonight, still on Christianity.